Right now, there isn't one solo YouTuber that I respect more than the Dungeon Dive. So today, my friends, we're actually going to be going over their Solo Oracle and Bag of Fate? Sounds super interesting, so let's break it down. Well, hello everybody, my name is Turk and welcome back to the Grouch Couch. Around here we do all different kinds of weird TTRPG things, but that's right, yes, today, my friends, we're taking a look at another Solo Oracle supplement showcase kind of thing that we're doing today. I know for a fact the Dungeon Dive already has their own video on their channel showcasing their own thing that they have made, but you know what? I really wanted to take a look at it myself. Not only because I'm probably going to be using this thing on other series and things in the future on the channel, so I want you guys to be able to know what it is, but also it looks really cool, you guys, and so I really wanted to showcase it and show it off over here. Give a different perspective on it, if you know what I mean. Of course, if you want to get this thing for yourself, there will be links down in the description of the video for you to clickety-clack on, and by clickety-clacking on those links in the description, it does help support the show. It allows me to keep creating and making more cool things with other different kinds of stuff. So make sure to click those links down there and take a seat on the couch by subscribing. That's right. Cool, with all the YouTube jibber jabber out of the way, the plan for today is to walk through this thing step by step and to give my opinions on it. All right, what I think works, what I think doesn't work, and everything else like that. But I do think that this is a really good resource and tool for us solo TTRPG players. So here at the top, I want to give a big thanks to the Dungeon Dive for everything that they do for the solo TTRPG scene here on YouTube. I really appreciate that. So here we are at the top-down camera. Now I just printed this in black and white. I think it comes in black and white, just on some regular old paper. I like playing with physical stuff around here. It's what I always prefer to do. For those of you guys who have been around the channel for a while, you know this. But this means we got to get us a little zoom going, right? The cover's pretty good. I really want to print this in like an actual zine format with some real good paper and actually staple it together. I think that would be sick, truthfully, but it would make it smaller on camera. So anyway, since we did print it ourselves, we're going to have to get us a little zoom going. Everybody ready for the zoom? All right, so we're going to walk through this thing page by page. Now, it only has like 4 or 5 pages to it, so it's really not a lot. We're gonna break this bad boy down, okay? And the pages might not be in order, just so you know, but it's fine. The Dungeon Dives 3D6 Oracle and Bag of Fate. It reminds me, we should pull out some 3D6s, shall we? We're gearing up to do Dragonbane things on the channel, so I got some Dragonbane 3D6s. Very good. For the actual Oracle, see the last pages of this document. This 2-part Oracle will help drive your solo RPGs. The first part, the 3D6 Oracle, will provide a degree of answers to yes or no questions, along with the chance of a twist that will impact something about your story. The second part, the Bag of Fate, introduces a bag draw system that will have you tempting fate, the results of which will also help to drive your narrative. I sneezed. That seems like pretty basic stuff. I mean, we've seen a lot of this, Oracle stuff in general, but I'm honestly curious to see what makes this different from other kinds of oracles, right? So, and that's why we're here today. 3D6 Oracle rules. Ask a yes or no question about the current situation. Examples. Are the guards on alert? Is the door locked? Is there a monster nearby? Did I remember to put on pants? Very good, Dungeon Dive. I love that. Roll 3d6 of different colors. Assign 1 to each column. Okay. Time for different colors. I got all kinds of dice up here. For those of you guys who have been following the channel for a long time, we have Charles. This is our skull of dice. He's very good. Also, low-key, the channel mascot, believe it or not. So I have this Wild Beyond the Witchlight D6 as well. And this black one, I don't remember where I got it from, but it's one of the first D6s I ever got that I liked. So I've kind of just had it for like 10 years. All right, very good. As an example, use yellow for first, gray for second, and red for third. Very good. The yes or no column will provide you with an answer ranging from strong narrative no and to a strong positive yes and. Remember, the answer is in the relation to the question asked. So a strong narrative answer of no and could yield positive results. See example to the right. Example. Very good. I always like to make jokes about to the right being literal, but in this sense, it actually is. Very good. The twist column will tell you if there is a negative or positive twist. Twists only happen on the roll of a 1 or 6. Rolls of 2 to 5 do not produce twists. The severity of the twist should make sense in relation to the challenge at hand. For example, if there is a lot at stake, make the twist more severe. The twist is something unexpected that happens in relation to the question asked. The twist should always be from the player character's perspective. So, a negative twist will hinder the player character, while a positive twist will help the player character. The twist focus column will tell you on what the twist is focused. This will force you, the player, to act as the GM and come up with a narrative twist having to do with the focus rolled. Now we have an example over here, and usually I don't read through full-on examples here on the channel, but being that this dungeon dive, I mean, it's only 4 pages or something, so I guess we read through it. Situation: Kragor the warrior is trying to rescue his ally, an NPC named Jenko, from a guard post. The question asked: are the guards on alert? 1. Roll 1, 6, and 2, and apply in that order. Applied to the table, this would give me the following results: 1, no, and okay. So the guards are not on alert, and, as a matter of fact, they've fallen asleep after drinking too much ale. This will be an easy challenge to rescue Junko. 6 equals a positive twist focused on 2, an NPC. We will say that the positive twist is focused on Junko, and the twist is that Junko hasn't been mistreated at all and is being kept in relative comfort. When Junko is rescued, they will be in tip-top shape and ready for whatever comes next, thus making it easier for Kragor to complete his quest. Let's say we rolled a 1 for a negative twist. In that instance, we could say that Junko had been severely tortured, and after being rescued, they would need to be carried to safety, thus making it harder for Kragor to escape. Cool, pretty self-explanatory. I always go into character voice whenever I read examples. I don't know why. Okay, so this is the example that we were using previously. Here are our columns. So, for example, we could assign the 6 to the yes or no. We would assign green to yes or no, black to the twist, and orange to the twist focus. And we'll keep them down here. And in this, it says ask a yes or no question. Roll 3d6 of different colors. Assign 1 to each column. The yes or no column will provide you with an answer. The twist column will tell you if there's a negative or positive twist related to the answer. The twist focus column will tell you on what the twist is focused. This is kind of cool because you could actually probably just take this little right here and you could just cut it and you could tape it to your journal right here, and it would actually fit in my journal. So that's really cool. So you always have this oracle with you. That's kind of cool, actually. Fits perfect for anybody thinking about something like that. This was my 2026 journal. It technically is my 2025 solo journal, but it's falling apart. I asked in a previous video, I was like, hey, how do I fix this? I actually got some fun feedback, so thanks for that. If anyone has more on how to fix this, let me know, because I really like the leather journal. I gotta get it.
Oh, what's up, weirdos? It's Willie the Ad Wizard here to let you know that this video's been brought to you by you. That's right, the viewer. So do us a solid. Hit the like button and go on ahead and subscribe to join the Couch Crew. That's right. And if you're feeling extra fancy, you could become a member of the channel for perks or join the dang old Discord. We've also got a merch store. Check the things out. That's right. And that's me, Willie the Ad Wizard. See you next time.
This is fairly simple. So let's ask us a question. Let's do something really simple, like one of the examples. Is the door locked, right? And we got a 4, a 2, and a 6. So in this situation, the 4 is yes, the door is locked. There is no twist. And on 6, it's adversary. So if there was a twist, this D6 here will give us the twist focus. But since there was not a twist, right? Because it's only on a 1 or a 6 if a twist happens. Which I love that. I love twists. So my little 2 cents here. A lot of guys, you could follow on the channel, you know, I've spent like a year playing Mythic GME 2E. And I love the twists in that game. But they don't happen often enough, because they only happen on double rolls, and only on double rolls when it's, dealing with your chaos factor. So it's like, oh, sick, I got doubles, I can add a twist in, because sometimes like narrative twists are cool because they can like push it forward. You don't want them to happen too often, but you still want them to happen often enough. And I felt in GME they didn't happen often enough, and so I would always just keep my chaos factor at the max, at least mentally. So every single time I got doubles, I would just count it as a twist. Playing in Foundry though, it was difficult because if you roll on a scene alteration, you can't have your chaos factor at max all the time. Anyways, the point here still stands that there's a 2 in 6 chance always for some kind of twist to happen. And I like that a lot. But here we just have, yes, the door is locked. So then we'd be like, okay, what do? We got to lock pick it, so then we'll roll sleight of hand, whatever game we're playing. And that's fair enough, right? It would have been fun if we would have gotten like a yes, but, right? The door is locked, yes, but your character notices that the door seems to be off of its hinges, or yes, and the door is locked, plus your character notices that there's a magical rune currently trapping this door so then you got to deal with the magical rune before you can open it. Which would be really fun if it was just a janitor's closet. What's going on with that janitor? Maybe that janitor is secretly a part of the Mages Guild. We're building a narrative here, and I haven't even rolled anything. I love TTRPGs, you guys. Okay, moving on. We need to talk about the Dungeon Dives Bag of Fate. Oh, the Bag of Fate quick roll. So this is supposed to be like the quick little, if you just want to, get going, you could take just this one piece of paper with you and put it in your journal and take it with you, right? So this is the quick rules for the Bag of Fate. So I think maybe let's just skip to the actual rules for the Bag of Fate, and we'll come back to that if we need to. But that also means that we have in a different orientation. And I like that a lot. So whatever orientation you want to take it in. So you could actually fold this bad boy, because this is the quick rules for the 3D6 Oracle and the quick rules for that. So they just redid the orientation, so you could actually fold this in half, like in my journal's case, right? We just fold that in half, and then it fits perfectly into our journal or into our booklet. Because if we're playing some kind of booklet, like say we're playing A Torch in the Dark, which I just printed recently because we're going to play it on the channel, you could just fit this in there and then you're good to go. Look at that. It's right in the middle. We could just roll to it. See that? That's pretty great. Of course, Torch in the Dark has its own rules, but my example still stands. I like that. Okay, I've stalled enough. Let's read through the Bag of Fate. 3D6 Oracle above is for immediate answers and impact. You ask a question, you get an answer, and maybe a twist, and you react accordingly. The Bag of Fate represents how things are progressing over longer periods of time and is influenced by the results of the dice while using the 3D6 Oracle. Using these two elements together will force you, the player, to take control of the story and push the narrative forward in an interesting and dramatic direction. What you will need is a bag or a cup, and 20 tokens of the same size, 2 different colors, 10 boon tokens and 10 bane tokens. Okay, I think that it's really cool this here. Currently, I do not have that. What I do have is undo the zoom here. I always use these little golden coins for my tokens, but I only have 6 of them, so I don't have 10 and 10. I definitely don't. You could use a lot of stuff, but when I was reading through this the first time, what I immediately thought was this is 10 and 10, right? So you don't even actually need a bag of tokens. Hear me out on this, okay? Let's go here and let's say 10 boon tokens, all one color, right? Boons to me, we're going to call these evens. And banes to me, we're going to call these odds, all right? And then we're going to take our D20. We'll use our big Dead Heroes dice one. And we can roll at any point. So there's 10 and 10 on here, right? So if we get, that's a 9, that's an odd, right? Which would already be a bane. Okay, so let's keep that in mind while we move forward. Little expansion rules, Dungeon Dive. There's absolutely no way you're watching this video. But if you do, first of all, thanks. Second of all, ideas. All right, I have ADHD, y'all. Let's go back. At the beginning of the campaign or session, set up your empty Bag of Fate by adding 1 boon or 1 bane to the bag. Set aside the remaining tokens to create your draw pool of tokens to be added to the bag. You can keep the contents of the bag persistent from one session to the next, or reset it each time. It's up to you. I would start at max and go backwards. That's my idea with the dice, right? When you roll a twist on the 3d6 Oracle, a 1 or 6 on the twist column, you will add a token to the bag, and you will draw a token from the bag. Whenever you roll doubles while rolling on the 3d6 Oracle, if you roll a positive twist, add a boon to the bag. If you roll a negative twist, add a bane to the bag. So we're adding in, taking things out, right? If you roll doubles while rolling on the 3d6 Oracle, draw a token out of the bag. Interesting. Even going back, I'm like, why exactly would we add a token and draw a token? It's interesting. I guess just like it's even playing grounds, you're going to take one out, pull one in. Interesting. If you roll doubles, draw a token out of the bag. If you draw a boon, you will keep that as currency to spend later. If you draw a bane, you will keep that as a reminder to make your next challenge more difficult. Just kind of cool because you can keep them on the table. So like while you're playing, you could have it there. You can see it, you know? It's kind of cool. Very interesting. It would be difficult in my example or theoretical other idea to keep it there and be like, we have this, you know? So maybe it'd still be like, you would also need something else. Like my mustache wax thing. It'd be like, we have a boon. I'd flip it. We have a bane, you know? Interesting. All right. So double sixes, you've been blessed. If you roll double sixes, draw two tokens, one at a time. If either one is a boon, keep it and return the other to the bag. If neither one is a boon, discard both to the pool of unused tokens. Being blessed, let me scoot this down here. Being blessed helps you remove banes from the bag. Okay, very good. Double ones, you've been cursed, so same thing, but an opposite. How to use boons. Boons can be spent to re-roll any single die for any reason at any time. Once spent, discard it to the unused pool token. You can use multiple boons in sequence to re-roll dice that have already been re-rolled, if your system allows for multiple re-rolls. How to use banes. Banes are kept until the next time you roll it for a skill test, or a saving throw, or a challenge roll, etc., as a reminder to make the next challenge more difficult for your character. For example, Example, if you're using a target number for a challenge, bump it to the next level. Example, if you're playing D&D 5e, you would bump a DC 10 to a DC 15. If you're using a dice pool for a challenge, remove a die from your pool, or give yourself disadvantage on the roll if the system you're using uses disadvantage as a mechanism. My first thought was disadvantage right away. I'd probably even just find a way to always do disadvantage on a boon. Probably, especially in Dragonbane, I think it's also literally boon and bane, so that just works straight translation right over. Another important mode is that multiple banes do not stack. If you have 3 banes, 1 will be used for the next 3 challenges. So like this challenge, you spend a bane. The next challenge, you spend a bane. Right, so that's good. If the bag of fate is ever empty, add a boon and bane from the pool of unused tokens before drawing. The variant for less volatile fate. If this happens too frequently for you, you can also play that triples are required to draw a token from the bag. If you play this way, you can choose to trigger blessings and curses with triplets or doubles. I would recommend sticking with doubles. The maximum number of boons and banes. You can never have more than 5 of each boons or banes drawn from the bag. If you ever have more than 5, discard down to 5. Very good. So, I think this is a really cool token system for solo roleplay. Here's my other thought too. A lot of times it's hard to be difficult on yourself. It's hard to say, like whenever you're playing, it's your player character, right? I was just watching Wallona's Cave the other day and they were speaking about how it's hard to be hard on your character. I hate that sentence, but that's what it is, right? Because you don't want your character to, if you're trying to get over something really difficult, and there's a potential of failing and possibly your character going down, you don't want to make that challenge so difficult, right? I mean, on top of that, you don't want to change the narrative to possibly down your character. You don't want to do that. But if you ever find yourself in that situation, it's even harder to make the challenge more difficult, is kind of what I was thinking. So having this system being like, well, I have a bane, so I'm going to have to deal with it, right? But on the flip side, for me personally, it's hard to give my characters big advantages. I'm always trying to find the downside in literally everything. I'm like, even if my character does this is probably why that works. And I put a little negative on it. And so I always do that. Like, I'm pessimistic and half full whenever it comes to even successes in my games, which I've actually been talked to about my Walking Dead solo series. They're like, Turk, you're so hard on your characters. I'm like, oh, they get this cool thing, but it's probably because of this bad thing. Like, I feel bad for giving my characters good things. So this also helps. That's my whole point. This is going to help you in your narrative by giving positives and negatives the whole time. If you do not have a bag to put all these tokens in, you can use this system and keep tally marks on the side by using a D20. So whenever this would prompt you to roll or pull a bag or a token out, you just roll your 20. That's a natural 20 I just got there. That's very cool. But if it's an even, you get a boon. If it's an odd, you get a bane, right? And you can keep tally marks and stuff. So like if you don't have the potential tokens to be able to do this, that's just a little idea. But if you do have, I don't want to bash on the token thing, because if you do have the ability to get a bag or a cup and do the things, do it. Absolutely. For me, I think the most things that I have are dice probably. So I'd have to put like 20 dice in a cup and then I would use the dice, just probably what I would do. So we also got the quick rules over here, and I do want to go over these because maybe it has something like that, but it'll probably help. Bag or a cup, 20 tokens, one color represents 1 and 1. At the beginning of the campaign or session, add to the bag. If you roll a negative on the Twist Oracle, add a bane. If you roll a positive on the Twist Oracle, add a boon. Whenever you roll doubles while rolling the Oracle above, draw a token. If you roll double sixes, you get double tokens. Double ones is double negative tokens. Boons can be spent to re-roll any single die for any reason. Banes give you more of a challenge. The maximum number of boons is 5. If you ever need to draw a fate token, but the bag is empty, add more. If you think the bag of fate is being accessed too often, you need triple successes. Very good. And it really simplifies all of these paragraphs into a quick little reminder. Very cool. All right. Final thoughts here on the Dungeon Dive Oracle bag. First of all, Dungeon Dive, thank you so much for making this. This is very cool. I've put my hand in the ring and trying to make my own Oracle before, but I'm way too overcritical of myself. And I think you've done a great job here, is all I'm saying. I think it's very cool. I think you're still going to need a list of keywords if you're going to use this. You're going to have a twist focus, subplot, no. And you're like, subplot, no. You're going to need 2 words to roll on. So you're still going to need some kind of list of, keywords, Oracle words. You're going to need something. Or, you could use like the roll and play and roll on some kind of subplot thing, or even table fables to get you something. Could be really good. You're going to need some extra kind of external roll chart. I think, but the yes or no is very simple and very good, very quick. I love the 3d6, honestly. I really like it because, as I said previously, twists don't happen enough in other previous games, and I really like them to help push narrative forward or backwards. It helps a lot. So having it be a 2 in 6 chance that a twist is going to happen is awesome. The Bag of Fate, I think, is also really neat. And for someone who struggles with making things more challenging or giving your players blessings, that's going to help someone a lot. I think this is really cool, honestly. Do all you guys have thoughts? Would you use the Bag of Fate? Would you use the tokens? Have you? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear how it went. These videos right here are just to inform each other of cool solo things we got going on, right? And to keep each other informed in the community. So do leave things down in the comments. And if you have questions or ideas, leave them down there in the comments because maybe someone already answered them or I will answer. Anyways, that's it for me, Turk, the Dungeon Dive. Check this out. I'm probably gonna feature it more on the channel as moving forward. Could be a lot of fun. That's right. 3d6 oracles. Man, what good stuff. I've been Turk, you guys. Yes, I have. For now, my friends, take a seat on the couch and roll initiative, at least for a little while, or until you get to roll in the 3d6 oracle yourself. That's right. Bye-bye. This was fun.